A very good morning, students. Welcome to Fundamentals of Food Processing lecture. So far, we have completed Unit 1. Under that, we have studied about the introduction to food processing industry. We have studied about the cereal and the millets. We have studied about pulses and legumes. So, today we are going to start the second unit. Under that, the first concept is compositional, nutritional, and technological aspects of animal meat. So before starting this chapter, I just wanted to convey few things. So in our class we have both vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So in the PPT I have included some of the non-vegetarian pictures like flesh, meat, the blood filled images and all, just to get get to know about the clear picture of that particular product. So the vegetarian people, don't be offended and don't imagine the things and feel disgusted. So it's a chapter, you have to study it and you have to learn the concepts. So take it in a positive way. Okay, so before we study further about composition and all, let us first learn what is meat. So meat is the edible portion of the mammal. It contains muscle, fat, bone, connective tissue and water. The major meat producing in animals are cattle, swine and sheep. So in the Philippines, we also have goat meat, caraboa meat, horse meat and dog meat. So basically meat is nothing but the edible part, the eatable part of the mammal group of animals. It includes muscles also, the fat also, the bone part also, connective tissues like tendons also and the water also. So majorly we consume flesh of pig or flesh of goat and flesh of chicken. Apart from that, fish and other shellfishes and all. In Philippines areas, they will also consume horse meat and dog meat too. And even Chinese also, they'll consume some other meat like a cockroach, they'll consume lizard, they'll consume snake, they'll consume. So they consider it as a edible part suitable for their body. Now let us see which are the different types of meat. So beef is a meat which is not usually consumed in India, since we consider cattle as the form of goddess. So beef is usually consumed. Beef is nothing but the meat of the cattle. Okay, so it is usually cherry red in color. Next is pork. So pork is basically a meat of hog, nothing but we call pig. Okay, so hog and pig both belongs to similar group of animals. So this pork will be used in the form of, you might have heard about the food product ham and bacon. So ham is basically the leg part of the pork and it is usually cured and smoked, whereas bacon is example for lean meat and it is usually the smoked belly part of the pork. Next is lamb and mutton. So lamb meat means it is meat of the sheep which is slaughtered when they are less than 1 year old, and mutton is meat of a sheep which is slaughtered after the ages. Okay, so the matured meat of sheep is called as mutton. The young meat of the sheep is called as lamb. Then it is chivon, which is meat from goat, the adult goat. Then next is cara beef, which is meat from caraboa. So carabao is a water buffalo, which is basically from Philippines area, and people consume the meat of these caraboa. Then lamb, which already I have mentioned, that is the meat of young sheep which is a year older. So that is about general introduction to meat. So along with the previously mentioned meat, we'll also consume the fish meat, and few of them also consume the duck meat too. So the first concept under the topic is the definition of carcass. So what do you mean by carcass? So carcass andre general agi dead body anta artha. So whenever you do animal slaughter, so slaughtering is killing an organism for the purpose of getting edible meat. ಸೊ ಸ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅನಿಮಲನ್ನು ಮೀಟಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಕೊಲ್ಲೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಎರಡು ಥರದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್, ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್. ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೀಟ್. So it includes meat, intramuscular fat, bones. Non-carcass means it consists of both edible part and inedible part. So edible offals include head part, heart part, lungs part, liver part, lymph part, gastrointestinal tract, abdominal fat, pancreas, feet and skin. Inedible part means blood, hair and horns. So these blood, hair, horns cannot be consumed, so it is inedible part. And carcass part means the part of the dead organism. Non carcass means the internal organs. Okay, so usually in a meat shop, in butcher shop, you will get all the meat cuts together, but in some of the areas the separate organs will be sold. For example, liver and kidney of particular organisms are having good effect on the health, so separately they are sold. And even gastrointestinal tract, nothing but the small intestine of the organism will be sold, mainly because it is used in the ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಸೇಜಸ್. ಸಾಸೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಮೀಟನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಲ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ರಶ್ಡ್ ಮೀಟನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸಾಸೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಸಾಸೇಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ರೋ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನಲ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮೇಯ್ನಾಗಿ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೀಟ್, ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್. ಇಂಟ್ರಾಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್, ಚರ್ಬಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಒನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಚರ್ಬಿ is nothing but the fat, pig fat, nothing but lard we will use. And even bones. So bones, why they are specifying? Because few bones, it is good for the health of humans also. Okay, so now let us see what is the definition of carcass. So carcass is the dead body of an animal, especially one that has been slaughtered for food, with the head, limbs, entrails removed. The carcass include the following components, that is lean muscle tissues, bones, fats, connective tissues and offal, which is not the part of carcass, and it is edible byproduct produced in creating the carcass. So basically carcass ಅಂದರೆ ಡೆಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಎನಿಮಲ್, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟರಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಮಲ್ನ ಡೆಡ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಸಲ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಫ್ಯಾಟ್, ಬೋನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಸಲ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ, ಅದೇನು ನಾರಿನ ಅಂಶ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಫಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಆರ್ಗನ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಲಿವರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಈ ಎಡಿಬಲ್ ನಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. Now, what are the different types of carcass? So, you have beef carcass. So, part of cow slaughtering, apart from blood, head and both front feet, starting from carpus, and both hind starting from torsus. Skin, cavity contents and abdominal cavity also applies for buffalo, goat, sheep. So, beef carcass ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಲೆಗ್ಗಿಂದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕೆಳಗಿನ ಲೆಗ್ಗಿನವರೆಗಿನ ಪಾರ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬೀಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಬೀಫ್ carcass also includes to that of the goat, sheep, buffalo also. Then we call chicken carcass. So chicken carcass means part of the chicken slaughtering apart from blood, feather, neck, head, both feet, organs under chest and abdominal cavity except lungs and kidneys. So ಚಿಕನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದರ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಹೇರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನೆಕ್ ಮತ್ತು 2 ಕಾಲು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅದರ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಚಿಕನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಈಟನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಚಿಕನ್ ಕಾರ್ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ because for ghee roast and all, this entire chicken they are going to stick it to a long rod and they'll be roasted. Okay, next, pork carcass. So part of the pig slaughtering apart from blood, hair, neck, both feet, organs under the chest and abdominal cavity. So internal organs, hairs, legs ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಉಳಿದಿರೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಪೋರ್ಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಕಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಪೋರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿಗ್, ಬೀಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ದ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಫೆಲೋ, goat and even sheep also. Chicken carcass andre the dead body of the chicken. Now what is meat then? So already in previous slide I have said all animal tissues and all products of processing of such tissues which are edible and not causing any problem for the ones who consume it. So edible part of the carcass is called as the meat. Now, so important concept for you to understand, even though it is not there in your syllabus, is the color of the meat. So ಕೆಲವು meat ಪಿಂಕಿಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ರೆಡ್ಡಿಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಬ್ರೌನಿಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ವೈಟಿಶ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೀಟ್? ಸೊ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೀಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ and acceptability. So meat color is one of the quality which is checked while consuming the fresh meat. So ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ತಿರುವ ಮೀಟ್ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಷರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಲರ್. ಸೊ ದ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ದ ಟೆಂಡರ್ನೆಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದು ಯಂಗ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ತುಂಬ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥ ಮೀಟ್. ಅದೇ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬೆಳೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಮೀಟ್, ಮೆಚರ್ಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈವನ್ ದ ಫ್ಲೇವರ್, ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ raw meat smell, then it is fresh. If it is something stinky smell, then it is not a fresh one, it is a rotten meat. Okay, now coming back to the meat color. So fresh meat will be always cherry red in color and cooked meat will be brown or grey colored and cured meat will be pink in color. So cured meat ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ the meat which is preserved with the help of salt. ಸೊ ಸಾಲ್ಟನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವ ಮೀಟ್ ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಪಿಂಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಏನು ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಹಾಕದೆ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಮೀಟನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಚೆರಿ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಕುಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೇ ಕಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು the color of the meat is because of two pigments, that is myoglobin and hemoglobin. So basically the main color is because of the myoglobin, which is a colored pigment present in the fresh meat, and hemoglobin, as you know, it is the color of the iron. Because of the iron content present in the blood, you will get the hemoglobin pigment. So because of that you will get red color. Now what happens when the myoglobin, which is basically purplish red in color, is exposed to oxygen present in the air, it will become oxymyoglobin, which is bright red in color. So ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಪರ್ಪ್ಲಿಶ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎನಿಮಲ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆ್ಯನಿಮಲನ್ನು ಸ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರ ಮೀಟನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೊರಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟಾಗ ಆ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮಾಂಸದ ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದರೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಾಂಸ ನೇತಾಡಿಸಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ರೆಡ್, ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದು ಲೈವ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಲಾಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಪ್ಲಿಶ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿಂದ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನನ್ನು ನೀವು ತುಂಬ ದಿನ ಹೊರಗೆ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಆಗ ಅದು ಮೆಟ್ ಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ರೌನಿಶ್ ಇನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ಡಿಸೈರೇಬಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ದಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನೇತಾಡಿಸಿಟ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ತುಂಬ ದಿನ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾರಿದರೆ ಆಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೀಟಿನ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೀಟಿನ ಕಲರ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಮೀಟಿಗೂ ರಾಟೆಡ್ ಮೀಟಿಗೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಮೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲರ್ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ರಾಟನ್ ಮೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಮೆಟ್ ಮಯೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ರೌನಿಶ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಮೀಟ್ ಕಲರ್. ನೌ you are going to study mainly about the red meat and the white meat. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಥರದ ಮೀಟನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ವೈಟ್ ಮೀಟ್. ಸೊ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಿಫರೇಬಲ್ ಒನ್ ಫಾರ್ the people who are having sugar and BP, whereas white meat can be consumed by every human being irrespective of the disorder also. It is not so harmful for your body. Now what is the main difference between red meat and white meat? Let us see. So before that let us study which are the three different types. So basically ನಮಗೆ ಮೂರು ಥರದ ಮೀಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್, white meat and game meat. So red meat includes the cattle, beef, sheep. White meat includes pig, calf, poultry. Pig in the pork, calf in the veal, and beef ವೀಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಫಿಂದ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕರುವಿಂದ ಬರುವ ಮಾಂಸವನ್ನು ವೀಲ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದನದ ಮಾಂಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬೀಫ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೀಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಅ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್, ವೆರಾಸ್ ವೀಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಅ ವೈಟ್ ಮೀಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಪೋಲ್ಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ಸಿಗುವಂಥ ಚಿಕನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಟರ್ಕಿ, ಡಕ್ and even your fish also. So fish also belongs to white meat. Apart from that you have another type of meat called as game meat, which is obtained from rabbit, kangaroo, crocodile, deer and wild birds. So basically these are not usually consumed by the South Indian people. Okay, so game meat is basically the meat of animals which are not usually harmed or which are not usually domesticated. ಸಾಕಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಮಾಂಸ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, so we are having only red meat and white meat. So let us see in detail about the red meat. So red meat includes the goat meat, lamb meat, okay, the whaling meat and the pork meat. Now benefits of red meat includes the protein in the red meat is of high biological value. So this means that it contains all the essential amino acids. In contrast to the protein of legumes and cereals, the body needs to synthesize its own proteins. So meat, as you know, is the best source of protein, and this red meat contains all the essential amino acids required for a particular protein. So this is a major source of protein, and red meat is also an important source of iron, and low iron intake can cause problem with anemia and subsequent fatigue failure. Red meat is one of the best source of iron with better bioavailability. This means that the iron uptake by red meat is better absorbed than iron found in plant food. So red meat is a best source of protein and it is also the best source of iron. So iron is very important part of hemoglobin, which is if it is less in your body, which may leads to anemia and fatigue failure. Fatigue ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಟಯರ್ಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಲೇಸಿನೆಸ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ red meat will provide you sufficient amount of iron which is required for your body, and because of the presence of iron only it is getting the dark red color than that of the white meat. The meat also comprises the zinc, which is essential ingredient for the development and maintenance of immune system, wound healing and appetite control. So 90 gram red meat provides you around 40% of the recommended daily intake of zinc. So zinc, as you know, nowadays zinc tablet is majorly given to boost your immunity. Okay, so your red meat is the best source for zinc. It provides around approximately 100 grams of red meat will give you 40 to 45% of zinc to your body, which is very required for wound healing, that is for um, clotting process, and even it improves immune system also, and even it improves the digestion and appetite control also. Finally, this red meat will also contains a variety of vitamin B which are involved in various metabolic process. So this red meat is also rich in vitamin B complexes like thiamine and niacin. So these are the benefits. So it is rich in protein, rich in zinc, rich in vitamins, and also it is rich in iron content. Now coming to consumption. So 40 years ago the consumption of meat was about 35 grams per day, and today we have come to consume more than 150 grams daily. According to studies, children eat daily more than 50 grams of processed meat, that is sausage. The consumption of red meat should not exceed an average of one serving per day or a full portion every other day. So people should not consume more than 70 gram per day of red processed meat, that is around 500 grams per week. So 500 grams a week can include one beef steak, one steak, two pork sausages, bolognese sauce, and one portion. So you can consume maximum of 50 grams per day or 500 grams per week. Why you should not have more amount of red meat? So let us see what are the effects of consuming more red meat and what are the dangers of red meat. The intake of red meat has been consistently associated with colon cancer and possibly other cancers and coronary heart diseases. Red meat has more saturated fat, so it has increased risk of stroke, atherosclerosis, and cancer. People who consume more than 2 daily servings, more than 160 grams per day, of red or processed meat such as sausage or sauce are at 35% greater risk of contracting colon cancer than people who consume less than one serving per week. So this red meat is carcinogenic in nature, that is it leads to the colon cancer. Not only that, it is also not good for health of heart because it leads to coronary heart diseases. Why? Because it is having more amount of saturated fat. So as I said in the previous chapter when we are studying about the lipid, so saturated fat is not good for health because it will increase the bad cholesterol in our body. So bad cholesterol will block the blood vessels and increase the pressure of the heart for pumping the blood. So it may also leads to the stroke. So more consumption of red meat is banned, and hence we have to consume only 50 grams per day. Not only that, women eating red and processed meat may increase the risk for brain infarction. Both red and processed meat are associated with increased risk of hypertension, that is high pressure. So hypertension is the main cause of stroke. Processed meat are particularly rich in sodium, which is excessive rise in blood pressure. So also red and processed meats are rich in iron, which can accelerate the production of free radicals during metabolism, and it may cause the damage to tissue and DNA. Saturated animal fats are high in red meat. The increased consumption of saturated animal fat favors the genesis and development of atherosclerosis, which causes blockage of the arteries. So women ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಮೀಟಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಾಸೇಜ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೂಪ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ತಿನ್ನೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಇನ್ಫಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಫಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರೈನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಂತಹ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ನಿಂತು ಹೋಗೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ನಿಂತು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನರ್ವ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬಂದು ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Also it leads to high pressure, so same phenomena. So since the blood vessels are blocked by the saturated fat present in the red meat, it leads to hypertension, nothing but high pressure. So when your blood vessels are blocked, your heart has to apply more pressure to pump the blood. So as a result, it leads to hypertension. Next, since as I said earlier, the red meat is very rich in iron, so more iron may cause damage to your DNA by producing the free radicals. Not only that, even your tissues may be damaged, and also it leads to atherosclerosis, nothing but the initiation of stroke, because heart will take more pressure to pump the blood, so it leads to the blockage of the arteries. So that is about the red meat, the benefit, how much you have to consume, and what are the disadvantage. Now coming to the white meat. So white meat includes mainly chicken, fish, and even the turkey meat, and rabbit meat, pork meat, etc. Now in culinary terms, white meat means the meat which is pale in color before and after cooking. So because it is having less iron content than that of the red meat, it is pale in color, that is slightly pinkish in color. Coming to the nourishment from white meat, specifically we are speaking about the chicken. So it helps in muscle building. So white meat is low in fat but rich in protein. Those who want to build muscles and bulk should eat a lot of boiled chicken. So chicken is a best source of protein. So usually the people who are going to gym eat a lot of meat, not the sambar and all. So the meat which is cooked with least fat and salt. So boiled chicken will be consumed since it is a rich source of protein, and it keeps the bone healthy. So phosphorus and the calcium content in chicken will keeps the bone healthy, therefore it is especially good for women who are prone to weak bones. So chicken bone soups are usually preferred because it is having more of calcium and phosphorus, which will give strength to your spinal and the backbones. It keeps the heart healthy. So though chicken has cholesterol, it also has niacin, which helps to lower the cholesterol. So if you pick lean pieces of chicken and eat them without adding oil or butter, it is healthy for your heart. So this chicken, nothing but white meat, is having more unsaturated fat than that of red meat. So it is good for the health only if you add less fat when preparing the food, meat food. It also helps children grow. So chicken is one of the best food for growing children, as it has a lot of amino acids that helps the child grow tall and strong. So growing children needs a lot of protein building products, food products. So chicken is the best option for them, since chicken will provide them all the essential amino acids required for the bone manufacture. It reduces the risk of arthritis. So chicken is rich in selenium, and this mineral cuts the risk of developing arthritis later on in life. So selenium is the particular mineral which is very essential for the bone development, and you can avoid arthritis by consuming more of white meat, nothing but chicken. So it relieves stress. Chicken has vitamin B5, that is pantothenic acid, which has a calming effect on the nerves. So if you are stressed out, grilled chicken is the best remedy. So you, most of the non-veg lovers know about this concept. So chicken is the best food to accelerate your mood and to make your mood proper, because it is having vitamin B15, so B5 pantothenic acid, which will produce relaxing hormones. So it soothes PMS symptoms. The magnesium in chicken helps one to cope up with premenstrual stress. The magnesium levels in the blood gets reduced just before the start of the period, and eating chicken helps to compensate for this. So the magnesium content which is present in the chicken will increase the this mineral content in the blood and elevate the mood swings which are caused due to the post menstrual stress. So that is about the benefits of chicken, a white meat. One more white meat popular among the coastal region is fish. Not many food are as nutrient as fish. So most type of fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, tuna, trout are good and have high quality protein and various vitamins, iodines and minerals. And fish is also rich in fat soluble vitamin D, a nutrient that most people are deficient in. Fatty fish like salmon, herring contains the highest amount of this vitamin. Other items like cod liver oil are rich in vitamin D, and a single tablespoon a day is recommended by specialists. Fish also functions like a steroid hormone in the body. So you know the importance of vitamin D in our body, and the only source of vitamin D is the sun. Apart from sunlight, we can also obtain this vitamin D majorly from fish. That is, fish liver oil is a rich source of vitamin D. Fatty fish have high quantities of omega 3 fatty acid which maintain brain and body functions and reduce the risk of diseases. So, eating fatty fish twice a week is enough to meet the recommended level of omega 3 in order to reduce the risk of heart attack. So, omega 3 fatty acid is majorly required for the brain development and the cognitive power, the sharpness and the intelligence. So this can be easily obtained from consuming the fish. So only they say the Mangalore people, Udupi people are more brainies, they are sharp because they'll consume a lot of fish. Okay, so now other people, please don't get offended, I just said a fact. Okay, then nutrients present in fish like omega 3 fatty acids play a crucial role in development and growth of the body, and even DHA, that is docosahexaenoic acid, a fatty acid which is especially important in proper development of eyes and brain. Therefore, nourishing mothers and pregnant women are often urged to eat food rich in omega 3 fatty acid like trout, however, or raw fish should be avoided because it contains microorganisms that can harm the fetus. So DHA is one of the important component even in your Horlicks and all. If you check, the important component added will be DHA. So why this DHA is required? So that the proper development of child's brain and vision will be developed. So the fish is rich in this DHA, and the conceiving mother is usually recommended to eat the food like fish, the properly cooked fish. They should not eat the uncooked one because the microorganisms in uncooked fish may harm the baby. Now, fish will also protect the brain from age related deterioration. It also fight against serious neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease by slowing down cognitive decline. So, it also increases gray matter in the brain, which is the most important functional tissue that contains neurons that make us human. So, this fish will also reduce the age related nerve disorders like Alzheimer's disease. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಆದವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ತಲೆ ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಹೌದಾ, ದಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇಜರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ಝಮರ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಯಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ನರ್ವ್ ಗ್ರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವೈಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪಿ ಯು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಗ್ರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಸೊ ಗ್ರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ ಹಾಗೆ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆಲ್ಝಮರ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ತಲೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಶೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ that can be reduced by consuming the fish which is rich in DHA and omega fatty acids. So that is about the plus point of white meat, majorly chicken and fish. Now coming to consumption, 100 grams of the chicken white meat will consist of 172 calories of energy, 21 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat, and only 2.9 gram saturated fatty acid, 64 mg of cholesterol. Now this white meat will provide you around 75% of its calories from protein. Benefit is it is a low calorie source of protein, so you will get a lot of protein, but the calories intaken by the white meat is less. And also a single serving of white meat will provide you vitamin B, B6, B12, vitamin C, D, E, niacin and magnesium. And as a result, if you require more protein on a low calorie diet, then white meat is a very best option for you, and it is compulsorily included in muscle building diet plan. Now these are about the advantages and consumption. Coming to the disadvantages, so white meat is believed to be good for our health, but it is also believed not to be the best source of nutrients completely. So white meat will give the balance in eating plan or diet plan, or some special cases related to health, such as limit the fat content, but itself cannot supply the full nutrient as expected. So even though this white meat give us more protein, but that proteins will be lacking some essential amino acids, and even these cannot provide us enough amount of iron or zinc like that of red meat. Now chicken breast tends to have drier texture which can make it boring to eat. So your red meat is very juicy compared to your white meat. So white meat won't be having that much tenderness or juiciness. So it will be boring for chewing because it will be very dried and it will be very mechanical. You need more strength to chew and bite it. So whereas your red meat will be very soft, tender and palatable and easy to bite and eat. It is considered the medicines used to keep poultry, fish and turkey from the disease, or supplement are used in industrial fodder for size increasing faster and causes of changing of meat quality. So nowadays what happens, since people are demanding for high fat meat or the large fat meat, usually the chicken or the fish will be fed with food which are supplemented with some other chemicals, so which will results in increase in the steroid content of our body. Not only that, the meat quality will also change. So beside the poultry or fish and turkey products are farming are frozen for a while before supplying it to the market. So this step also makes the quality of the meat product to be reduced. In some cases, supplement is added into meat after farming to preserve meat longer. So even for preservation purpose also they'll use some preservatives, or they may use some freezing technique. So freezing technique will reduce not only the quality of the milk, but also it will have nutritional effect on the meat also. And also the preservative which is used apart from the salt can cause some health changes in the people who consume it. So that is about the red meat and white meat. So let us wind up the class coming to the summary. So definition of carcass. Carcass is nothing but the dead body, or we can say the meat which we are consuming after the slaughtering, we call it as carcass. So carcass include the body except the hair part, leg part and the internal organ part. Then color of the meat is mainly because of oxymyoglobin, and oxymyoglobin is basically red in color. If that is deteriorated, it turns into brown in color, nothing but myoglobin, which is not good for consumption. Now red meat, white meat and game meat are the three types of meat. So red meat is rich in protein, zinc, iron and vitamins. White meat is rich in protein, magnesium and all. So red meat is not recommended for people having sugar, blood pressure and all, because it is having more amount of saturated fat, which may leads to heart problem, arthritis and all. Whereas white meat is recommended for everyone, but the problem is it won't provide you all the nutrients required. And also, if usually the fodder will be added with supplement, that may cause some ill effect on the health of the body who is consuming. So that is for today's class. If you have not understood anything, kindly text me or call me and clarify the doubts. And if you have any doubt regarding the assignment also, you can clarify it and ask me. Okay, thank you.